welcome to episode 15 of Crypto Waffle. Today we will be talking meme Coin Mania, Argentina rug pulled. Macro update, DXY developments and altcoin season looming, and then Agentic AI Hackathon and Cryptosi's findings. So let's kick it off with the one that everyone's probably discussing at the minute, Argentina rug pulling.
Right. Shall I give it a breakdown of exactly what happened?
Fill us in.
Right. So a few days ago, I can't actually even remember when. Maybe was it Friday? A few days ago, Argentina had a new meme coin launched called LIBRA. Now, a little bit of, for those who don't know, liberty in Argentina it's a big deal, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, freedom of speech in America or football in England. It's a massive deal. People really care about it. Anyway, these guys have launched this meme coin. One of the representatives had already met with the Argentinian president, so he had met them and he was aware of what they were doing to some degree. They launched a meme coin, and then the president of Argentina has tweeted about it, much like when Trump tweeted about Trump coin. This meme coin has then exploded up to $4.5 billion in value. Everybody says we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon. But it turns out that the company who had... Yes. It doesn't look so bad on that.
It doesn't.
Doesn't look so bad on that one. So it's shot up, like it's shooting up to the moon, and then it turns out that the team that launched it have still got 95% of the tokens. So they've only launched a tiny bit, and they've kept an egregious amount, and they've just dumped it. And that big straight down red line that you can see, which happened only a few hours after launch, was them dumping the tokens and collecting $100 million, give or take. What's happened since then is that the president of Argentina has then tried to walk it back and delete his tweets on that day. The one guy from the team called KIP Ventures or KP Ventures or KIP Protocol, one of those guys, he's gone and done an interview with CoffeeZilla, who is a well-known, a public investigator. I don't know what you'd call him. Like, he's like a do-it-yourself private investigator type guy. He likes to expose fraudsters. So this guy's gone on there. I've got no idea why he's done that, but it's one of these reckless moments. And he's gone on there and he said stuff like, look, this is a meme coin. This is what happens with meme coins. We've not really done nothing wrong. Like, if you wanted to buy the meme coin, you should have bought the meme coin. If you didn't, you shouldn't have. Now, I quickly want to show you, if I can, let me show you this. The website of...
What was the other one we talked about last week?
Central African Republic, it was last week.
What's the ticker for that one? Was it
I'm assuming it'll be CAR. I'll quickly check. That's the thing for the country. Oh, no, I don't know what it is actually.
Yeah, it is CAR.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the website of the project. Nice blue and white, which is Argentina's colours. But the thing was that apparently this was supposed to be a way for local businesses in Argentina to be funded. So they'd gone to him and they'd pitched it as, we'll fund local businesses with our meme coin, etc., etc. They've launched a meme coin and then they've just rugged it. Now, the president of Argentina, he regularly retweets people who are coming to Argentina to do business for whatever reasons, or who are starting up businesses. So it's not unusual for him to tweet something like that. And they've got all this whole apply for funding and etc., etc. So they really were acting. People would have seen all this and they would have been like, oh, this...
So you said earlier, have they dumped 95% of their holdings?
Yes. So they dumped 95% of their holdings. And also, which makes it a tiny bit worse, is that they put it into what we know as a single-sided pool. So they never put any Solana up in the first place. They just came with this wild idea, made this blue and white
So it
website.
wasn't exactly done professionally per se.
No, spoke to the president of Argentina and said, tweet it. And he was like, okay, I will. I don't know how much money you have to spend to get an audience with the president of Argentina. I know with Trump it was like $1 million or $500,000, something like that, to get an audience with him. So I don't know how much they would have spent to get him in a room. Obviously, America's a big country,
I mean,
Argentina.
could you say it could now be? I mean, because if I just share the screen again a
Let me,
second, you'll
let me-
see. Was it Libra?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's on
the
the way back.
token's actually risen from the bottom. I mean, it's kind of like one of these community takeover things.
Well, there's more to the story. So today,
Yeah,
the
we're up
president,
200% off the lows.
so the president of Argentina has today tweeted about it again. What he's doing now is kind of like he's covering his tracks. So he's tweeted it in Spanish, but I'll translate what he's retweeted is how to buy Libra. Create a phantom wallet, buy Solana tokens on a centralized exchange, transfer them to your wallet, and transfer them to your wallet and go to a decentralized exchange, paste the contract, swap Solana tokens for Libra
This
tokens.
is the president of Argentina telling you how to buy the asset.
Yes, yes. The president of Argentina now coming back after he said, sorry, I didn't know that it was a scam. Here's how you buy them. But the reason why he's doing that is because what he wants to do is he wants to show people that buying these meme coins is not something that everyone can do. So what he's trying to say is all these people who have been scammed, like fair play, because they were sophisticated investors.
Yeah.
He's the Associated Press are already reporting that there are a bunch of lawyers in Argentina who are already lining up charges or trying to get him arrested for fraud and a uncountable amount of frauds, because I'm assuming everybody who bought, they would say he frauded that individual person. And it's looking dicey. It's looking like this could pick up momentum.
We said this last week, though, didn't we? We said that we would not be surprised if we saw another one launch. And literally within the week of us saying that, we've had another launch.
And another rug.
Yeah, exact same outcome. It's just, but then obviously now a lot of people are then questioning Solana, saying that they should come and address this and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's an open market.
Yeah. Well,
What do you want them to do?
there is nothing Solana can do. I think the problem lies with people like Javier Milei. I hope I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. I think he should know better.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to tweet about a new technology, you should at least understand it or get some kind of. There should be somebody around him saying, "Look,
There's got to
you
be. I
should."
mean, he's the president of Argentina.
Yeah,
It's not like he's a bloke off the street.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that Argentina was a banana republic. I was not aware. As far as I knew, it was one of the biggest countries in South America. So
There's
I
a
would have
lot of trade in
assumed.
the US.
Yeah, yep. We haven't heard anything from the Americans about this, but I
No.
would say that the majority of people who had been scammed about this coin probably would have been Americans anyway.
Yeah.
But
But then,
I think the main culprit is an American guy, so I'm not sure that.
but then to be fair, I mean, everyone that has bought this is fully aware that it can go down 95%,
Yes,
aren't they? Like, whenever you
yes,
buy anything, and anyone, you could be a trader, you could be an investor, you know there is inherent risk that whatever you buy could go down 95%.
but but I think that's one side. But I think the other side is if a coin or a project says it's going to do something. So that's the difference between this and Trump
So
coin
if
or
it's
this and
advertising sort
Doge.
of thing.
Yeah, so this wasn't released as a meme coin. This was released as a coin, which is going to be a part of funding Argentina.
Yeah, real
So
world
this wasn't,
utility and all that stuff.
yeah, this wasn't released as this is vibes. Like there's an application form on the website. And I think if you say you're going to do something and then you don't do anything, I think that's fraud.
What's
Because
what was the African Republic one? Was that actually launched as just a meme?
I think that was similar, but there was not so much as a application form on their website for people to get funding in the Central
Right.
African Republic. So that one, I think that one again, possibly a scam, but maybe just done with a little bit more guile, a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit nicer. But this
Yeah.
one was far more shoot up and drag down. There's of course, now the Twitter is now doing what Twitter does and dissecting the whole thing, and the key opinion leaders who are involved are starting to be named. Some of them were paid. Dave
Crazy.
Portnoy was paid to promote it, but he also got rugged. It looks like,
Yeah.
and the influencers are listed on the Kelsia Ventures. Those are the guys, and then of course there's the CoffeeZilla interview.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and there's more and more coming out about it. So apparently,
Yeah.
Moonshot, Meteora, and Jupiter knew about Libra before it was launched. Those
So
are
they could have had inside information and whatnot.
yes, but those are three of the biggest outfits in Solana, which doesn't look good. They're saying,
Do you reckon this could affect the SOL price
I don't think so.
in a bearish manner?
No, I don't think so. I think it looks bad on Moonshot. I think it looks bad on Meteor. I think it looks bad on Jupiter. They're saying that they've done no insider trading, but I can't see how that can possibly
Someone
be a
definitely
thing.
has somewhere.
Do you know what I mean? I can't see how that's a thing. But I think that I think the truth will come out bit by bit, leak by leak, over the next coming weeks or so.
Yeah.
Solana's down about 10% since
Yeah.
this all happened.
Everyone, you
But
just like if you are new to this space, you just can't be trying to play that game. It's just that is one way to blow up like
yeah,
quick,
yeah,
like double time. I mean,
yeah,
I have not got involved in any of them. I've purely only seen everything on Twitter.
yeah.
I haven't bought any of those recent country ones.
I'll show you a picture. I'll share a picture of the the guy. It's
Is this the guy that launched it?
yeah. Well, I think he's involved.
Supposedly.
Yeah, I think he's involved.
And he's American, is he?
I'm not sure
Right.
because I haven't watched the CoffeeZilla interview, so I haven't heard him speak. But I wouldn't buy anything off this guy. It's the glasses.
Yeah, they're not exactly the best looking, are they?
It's the glasses. It's the glasses. He looks like the type of person that walks around pulling rugs, doesn't he? So I don't know. It's an interesting
not
one,
looking
but
good.
no, unfortunately, it is another. I would say it's another L for crypto on the whole.
Yeah.
Massive L
I mean,
for Argentina.
the other way I look at this though is that we're still in an emerging space and we're gonna have hiccups. Like this stuff was gonna get flushed out at some point. It just so happens to be now. And at least it's not the US that's done a rug pull or someone bigger.
Well, I don't know because if we look at Melania, how's that
Oh
getting
yeah,
on?
supposedly they were the same thing, weren't they? Same people that launched it. I did
Oh,
see
is
that.
there? I don't think there's a link between the two teams. I hope there's
Well,
not.
apparently there was a link between Melania, the African Republic, and the Argentina one.
Oh,
I think something I read. Apparently there's a link in the middle there,
that's
which
bad.
isn't a great look.
No, that's bad. That's bad. Melania's down to 100, 192. So
Not looking
Melania
good.
also pretty much went straight up and then straight back down.
Don't get involved, boys and girls. Stay clear.
Yeah. Let this be a lesson to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Melania, as we know, shot up to just under 2 billion,
And then
and
it's come down
it's down. Yeah.
97%.
Yeah. Yes, I think Melania is down. Yeah, 90% from all-time highs, which was
Right,
amazing.
let's do macro. Right, let's get straight into it. I shall share a screen. We will first of all kick off with,
How is the conversation still liquidity, liquidity, liquidity?
well, this week I was going to cover two charts, one being the dollar and the other one being the altcoin uh, against the ISM. So
Okay.
first of all, dollar on the monthly. We've been talking about this for probably going back at least 2 months now. And we were looking for this top in the dollar. And we've had what you could class as a three drive to a top. Um, and this monthly chart, you could say this monthly candle here is currently sitting on support before possibly going higher, which I have seen some people saying. I'm personally leaning to the bearish side of this and thinking the dollar actually breaks down from here. And we can see one thing on the weekly where the dollar has lost this white line you can just about see there around the 107.5 ish. We have lost that area of support now, and you can see that a bit clearer because we held it for these or 3 prior weeks to last week, and then last week we broke through. We are now on what I could say the last leg of support is before we then fall back into this broader range that we've been trading in since late 22, early 23. And then I think you could call this, if we enter the 3 month, you could potentially call this a fake out. So this breaking up here on the 3 month, you normally get when you have a fake out, you normally get an extended move in the opposite direction. So if this quarterly candle, say by the end of March, has closed back in below this 106.5, that in my eyes would be classed as a fake out, and we should see an extended move in the opposite direction. I'm targeting down here around the 95 to say 97, 98 region in the dollar. So if we go into the daily, I've also discussed people in my free Telegram this potential double top here, which at the moment is playing out. So how do you measure a double top? You draw from your support area, which is this support line here. So I'll make it a bit clearer. This is your local support. That is top one. That is top two. You then measure from the tops. Oh, I don't know why I'm using the crayon still. Let's use this. So you go from the support to the local tops. You then drag that to the breakdown point and you get your target. So this double top pattern is targeting the dollar to come down to around the 105.2. And you can see that is area of supports as these wicks here. If you see that cursor, you can then see local supports in here as well. So it's a nice area of support and it makes technical sense. So we've had the first signs of weakness on the dollar, which is a good thing for risk assets because a weaker dollar makes it easier for countries globally to sort out their issues with monetary policy and whatnot, rather than having to try to fight a strong dollar all the time, which is good. So it enables a bit more liquidity to come into the system.
Everybody
Now,
wants a weaker dollar, don't they?
yes, everybody needs a weaker dollar, especially China.
Yeah.
Second one is this. So this is the ISM, which is the Institute of Managers Survey, and altcoins as a percentage of Bitcoin total market cap. Now we can see here they track each other or have tracked each other very similarly during this bear market of 2022 into 23 and 24. We've just had the first sign. You can't see it on this chart, or actually you can because 50 is over here. So if I was to draw a straight line across here, the ISM has just taped above 50 in its latest print.
What
Now,
what is what is the ISM? Sorry, I don't.
it's an Institute of Managers survey, so it's basically a data of lots of different things. So if the ISM's above 50, you're seen to be expanding effectively. You're
Right.
doing well, the country's doing well, sort of thing.
And is this
Um,
US based then?
yes.
Right. Okay.
So when the ISM's above 50, it's seen as good, you're seeing growth. And then when it's below, you're seeing, okay, we've had a bear market sort of thing effectively. So in crypto language, below 50 bad, above 50 good.
Yeah.
It's basically to make it simpler. We've just had that first tick above 50, and we know that altcoins, one, need to wait for Bitcoin dominance to top. But then if you look at this ISM chart, it also suggests that it should start going up with the ISM, because the ISM also will mean that businesses have got a bit spare capital as interest rates come down. They get lower rates to finance stuff with. People might be having a bit more overtime, a bit more money in their pocket, which means they're going to spend a bit more, and it's just generally good for the economy. So if people have got a bit more money in their pocket, what do they do if they're in the crypto space? They go out on the risk curve. They'll start buying a couple of alts. They'll do whatever. So this is a key sign that we are, or in the process of, an altcoin season looming. The only other thing to kind of go over on that would be Bitcoin dominance, which is
See
this
that
chart.
ISM, I bet that tracks the liquidity chart pretty well as well, because I saw it spiked just after
Yeah,
COVID when the
I mean
money print
that's
switched
it's
on.
quite interesting because I haven't actually seen a chart of liquidity or ISM together at all. So I might see if I can get one. I'll have to do some digging, see if I can get
Yeah.
one sorted. But this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, Bitcoin dominance is currently sat at 60%. It's not to say that we can't go higher. We are still above key area of support, which is the 60% area. If we did lose that, then you'd be looking at maybe 57 and below. But at the moment, support is support until proven otherwise. So the local area of resistance here is around 62. And if you watch Benjamin Cohen, he's saying that we could definitely be in this stage here where we're just due one more leg up before ultimately we have that then Altseason. But what I've been saying for a while is the majority of the Bitcoin dominance move is now done. So if
Yeah.
you have been Bitcoin heavy for the last 2 years or since late 2022, early 23, you've done very well in this market. You've outperformed over 70%, over 60% of all altcoins. There's only been a minor handful that have probably outperformed Bitcoin itself in that time period. But the majority of this move is now done. And for me, if I'm not, but if I was looking to sell my Bitcoin and go into other stuff, I'd probably start looking to rotate some of that now. Not to say that I'd do that with my own because I don't touch my Bitcoin, but that is what I'd be looking to do if I still had a load.
If you wanted a bit more risk, I guess.
Yes. If you wanted a bit more risk and you wanted to step out on that risk curve a bit more, you just look at the assets that have performed really. I mean, the market has already showed you. I mean, just to list a couple off the top of my head is Solana, Sui. What else have you got? You got no.
Would you
I
throw
haven't
any?
got anything.
Would you throw any of the memes in there? Would you throw SPX in
Yeah,
there?
Doge,
Yeah.
SPX, any of the strong ones. Jupiter, that's been really strong performed. What is it? XRP, Cardano, HBAR. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been quite a few that have shown you that they're going to be the outperformers. So when this does drop, whenever that is, like I say, we could go up to 68% first before coming down. No one actually knows. But the majority of the move is done. So starting to come out of them now and into some new stuff isn't a bad shout.
Looking back on that chart, sorry,
Yeah,
could
well,
you see any lines of resistance along there?
so if
Nothing
we go
really
to the
jumps out.
monthly chart, you've got resistance along here. So around that 71.5% level, you would have something around where we basically topped out, or local top around the 64%. So if I draw that across there, you can see these wicks here, this wick here. It was
Yeah.
acting as support here before it's been breaking down, resistance, resistance, and then resistance, sell off. So that would still be a key level as well. That's on the monthly. And then on the weekly, you can kind of see that a bit better. Immediate resistance around the 64%, which we've already tagged, and come straight back off. This kind of here is just a range
Yeah.
that we could be in. I mean, within that range, you could argue there's an area of resistance or around about the 62.8, something like that. But I'm not too fussed about those smaller ranges. I'm just looking at the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But for me, the majority of move is done. And let's say we do go up to that higher boundary of, say, 71%, you've got an 18% rally to go in Bitcoin dominance, when ultimately your downside is probably at least 30%, 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the majority of moves to the upside's done. And I think we can almost kind of guarantee with the amount of coins and that are coming out that we probably don't get back up to the 70% area, maybe a slight lower, so maybe like 68. So I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking, but who knows?
I think one of the signs that we're probably at the top of Bitcoin dominance is sentiment. Sentiment seems to be,
Yeah,
some people are saying there will be no alt season this time round.
yeah,
This cycle it's different. It's all Bitcoin, strategic reserve, countries
yeah,
are buying it, etc., etc. There will be no alt season.
yeah,
Generally, that's a sign to say that alt season's just around the corner.
yeah.
Because
I mean,
the
a lot of people are comparing this cycle to 2017, and I get why, because in 2017, I mean, the Fed weren't cutting rates, but the Fed were actually tightening rates in 2017, and the liquidity came from China. Now, who is in desperate need of printing this at the moment? China.
China, yeah,
So it's the same sort of setup. We don't actually need the Fed to print, right? As long as someone is out there printing, that's all that really matters. But the big two are China and the Fed.
yeah,
Obviously, we know the Fed have got their repayments coming up, so we know they're going to have to do something somewhere.
yeah,
I'm hearing. Do you know what I've also seen a lot more this week on Twitter and some of my Instagrams is people talking about UK banks and US banks being under fire. So we obviously talked about that, I think, 2 weeks ago when Barclays went down over that weekend.
yeah,
Um, so everyone's now waking up to this potential talking about this cyber attack sort of thing affecting banks, and this being what's going to implement the ISO 2022 coins, XRP, HBAR, Quant, all that stuff. Um, so I've seen a lot more of that since we've actually discussed it, which I thought was quite interesting. But I think ultimately, if there is some sort of event, whatever it is, and we do get a flush, that to me is a buy the dip scenario.
yeah.
But if it's a cyber attack, I don't think you'll have the opportunity to buy the dip because you probably won't have a connection. If it's going to be that bad, they're not going to give you the opportunity to buy it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You'll have no chance.
Yeah,
You'll have no chance. I'm quite certain somebody's going to start printing before summer. It's just a question of who
yeah.
and
Well, I think
what.
China's already started in a way. They've
Okay.
already started a little bit. USM2 as well. I'm going to quickly throw these charts up.
Well, this is the thing. I'm hearing that what's happening is they're trying to find imaginative ways to print without printing or without
Yes.
calling it printing.
Yeah, so they're basically their word creation department is on overtime at the minute,
Yeah,
trying to come up with a new analogy for it all.
yeah,
But this is the Euro M2. That's actually created new highs as of November 24. So that's now expanding. US isn't there just yet. And then I'm not sure if I've got it bookmarked. I don't think I have, but they're going in that direction that we need them to go
yeah,
effectively. So everyone being a bit bearish, thinking, oh my God, we're not going to get alts are dead, blah, blah, blah. Just be patient. Obviously, some alts are going to get slapped. You have to own the ones that have shown strength. If you're buying stuff that's just on the floor and shown no strength, don't expect for it to pump.
yeah,
If it hasn't pumped in the last 2 years, like over 100%, it's probably dead. Like, there's no point in trying to get something that's, oh, I really believe in this, I really like this. If it hasn't moved price wise, there's no point, because the way I look at it, price is kind of king.
yeah.
It shows you what is going on with that project or that token. If it's great, brilliant. If it's not, don't touch it.
Yeah, you need something with a little bit of momentum. You need something
Yeah,
that's done something this year or
yeah,
last year, I should say. You need,
yeah.
not something that you liked in 2018, and you're like, oh yeah, this
Because
one's
the other thing like we discussed last week, sentiment on ETH. I think was it last week or the week before. Sentiment on ETH is at an all-time low, right? And everyone was net short. Do you see? Was that 2 weeks ago? It's like the
yeah,
biggest ETH short position ever.
yeah, Yeah.
Like that,
ETH
as we
outperforming
said,
today. It's
yeah, as we
outperforming
said,
today.
that's bullish for me in ETH.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to play ETH, but you're then looking to play or outperform ETH, then you look at ETH betas, you look at Aave, the DeFi stuff. I mean, I'm looking at selling my ETH for Pepe because if you
Okay.
look at an ETH Pepe chart, it's bang at support again. If you're going
Yeah.
to do it, this is where you do it.
If you're gonna, yeah, if you're gonna leverage,
So,
add
and
a bit of
obviously,
risk.
yeah, and you've obviously got to still believe that we're still going to see memes move. I mean, I still think you do, especially some of these ones that have proven themselves, like Doge, Pepe, SPX 6900, Giga, all that stuff. Like they've actually got a name for themselves now. I know Floki and that have been moving in the last week or two, with Bonk as well. So let's
I'm
kind
looking
of
at
see what happens, but I wouldn't be bearish on altcoins here.
SPX is a nice dip this afternoon. It's gone from 73 at about 2 p.m. to around
Yeah, SPX
60.
has held up actually really well
Yeah,
whilst we've been kind of stagnant.
yeah, yeah. It's done really well. It has done really well. So that might be one that I'm considering getting back in because I got out of SPX at the start of this year
Mm,
at around 82. I
yeah,
thought we'll see lower, and now we are seeing lower. So I think it might be time to back up the truck, as you say.
yeah.
Time to back up the truck.
Right. Fill us in on what happened in the Agentic AI Hackathon.
Right. So there's this company called ETH Global. Every couple of months they do a hackathon. The hackathons are getting bigger and bigger. Now this one was supposed to be a small hackathon. It's supposed to be a smaller one, but this hackathon was centered around AI agents, and for that reason, it was obviously a massive one. So it
Yeah.
had more submissions than any other hackathon they've had so far. I think there's only one hackathon that's had more submissions, and that was one of these massive ones like ETH Denver or one of those ones. And there was some close to 600 or over 500 applicants, and what they do is they summarize it in like an hour long show where the top 10 projects out of these 500 odd projects come on and they all give a little demonstration. So what I thought I would do was share the two which I found the most interesting. So if I share my screen,
So where was this hosted? Was this America
this
or?
was right. So this one was hosted virtually. So this wasn't
Oh,
even an
okay.
in-person one. So, and the virtual ones are generally smaller. The in-person ones are normally tacked onto massive conferences, but these ones are generally smaller. So I want to show two. The first one I want to show is one. Oh, maybe I'll show three. No, I'll show two. So the first one I'm going to show is one called DAO Council. So I'm really into DAOs, and this particular project,
You want to
each
just to
one's got.
quickly explain what a DAO is to the people that don't know?
Ah, right. Okay, so a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. So basically, what it is, it's a way to run your organization in a decentralized manner, meaning that people can fluently come and go as they please by generally buying your token. An example of a DAO is Arbitrum, let's say. So if you own Arbitrum tokens, there people will put forward proposals. You can vote on the proposals. If enough votes get passed, then the proposal passes and the people get the money that they want. DAOs have been around for a long time, maybe since 2016, 2015. And they seem to be progressing really slowly because people get stuck in the DAO that they're in. They don't migrate to new DAOs. The new people come along with new DAO ideas and they get stuck in the same learning process that the old DAOs have. So every cycle we get this bunch of new DAOs and they make the same mistakes that the old DAOs made. And it's infuriating to watch, but you can't tell them any different. So, so this particular project was for a DAO council. It's quite interesting. It's a bit of a game, really. But what it does is it allows people to put forward a proposal and then put forward their own arguments as to whether or not the proposal should pass. And you get a set number of arguments. Let's say you get 10 arguments each. So I say something, you say something, you say something. Keep going until you've done the number of arguments. And then the AI has a council of 5 different judges, I guess, or
What, AI
something.
judges or human judges?
Yes, AIs
Oh,
who
okay.
will decide what they think of your argument, or in some cases put forward arguments of their own, and then they will vote yes or no as to whether or not they want the proposal to pass. So what it does is it kind of removes the old problem that we would have before, whereby the rich people or the people who have got lots of a token, who are either rich or early adopters, they end up with really heavy hands. So because they've got so much of the token, what they say kind of goes. And that's a massive problem for all DAOs. It always has been and it always will be. But this is almost way of getting around that. Because what you would do if you was a whale is you would say, okay, well, I like these 2 particular DAO members the most, so whatever they choose, whatever these 2 AIs choose, I'll probably go with them. And it's just a nice gamification. Obviously, the hackathon only lasted like a week, and they put this thing together and they released it, and the source code is all here, so it's all open source. You can actually go and demo it, so the demo is live. I haven't actually done the demo. I just watched the I watched the demo, but I haven't actually used the demo. I
Right,
haven't
okay.
actually used it. So that's one. That's DAO Council. That's one that I really liked.
So
It came
is there a way of playing this as from an investor standpoint or not?
not yet, but what does happen sometimes is that these projects that are hackathon projects then can become full projects. For
Right,
example, the most famous hackathon project of all time is probably Uniswap. So Uniswap started its life as a project just like this. I don't know if it was at ETH Global, probably not. But Uniswap started its life as a hackathon project. It won the hackathon. The Hayden guy decided, oh, do you know what? I can make this into a project. And here we are, $8 billion later or whatever it is, and a chain of its own.
right.
So what I like to do with these sorts of things is take a note of them, try to keep an eye on them as best I can, especially by going to the GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account, everyone should have one. Even if you're an investor, you should have a GitHub account. And then watching the GitHub. So what I would do is I would watch the GitHub. I'm not going to do it now because I'll do
Do like a
custom.
monthly check or something on it.
And then yes, I'll get emails when certain things
Right,
happen.
okay.
And if I see that the this hackathon project is continually ticking over and adding and adding and adding, then I'll start to check the socials. Then I'll try to find out how I can get my money in there.
Okay.
So that's the first one. The second one, which was even better, but it's a bit more difficult to explain, is this small universe. Within small universe, what happens is you've got agents which they make based on your Twitter profile. So you
What, like a
can
personal
clone.
agent?
No, they're like agents in a virtual world. And it's based on your Twitter profile. So you can click on clone a person and add their Twitter profile, and
So
then
they're
it'll.
pretending to be someone else, effectively.
Right, exactly. And then it will clone that person based on their Twitter profile. So if you're a person that tweets angrily all the time, or you might tweet all the time saying that you like to eat bacon, whatever, or drink smoothies, then your AI agent will take on those characteristics and behave like you in this like imaginary world. They interact with each other, they create images, you can talk to them, things like that. It's just really well fleshed out, and the user interface was really good. So I thought this one was also another one which is well worth keeping an eye on. I think there's more chance of this one becoming a project
Right.
because I can see other people like me watching this and wanting to throw money at the guy for him
What's the
to.
sort of use case for that, though? Because I'm not sure I'd want a double of my Twitter per se, like
Yeah,
just out there. Or
yeah, but
can it be used to like reply to people on my Twitter like me?
it can be, but it will be not necessarily you who makes this clone. So I may decide to make a clone of you because I want to have a crypto waffle little gang that runs around in this
Right, okay.
thing, and you can come and speak to the crypto waffle guys. And the easiest way for me to clone you would be to just
Right,
get
so
all.
if you've got a big following, but you haven't got time to maybe answer people's questions about stuff, it's trained on your, say, Twitter data, and it can then respond to people that ask questions.
Yes. Well, and it's trained
Right.
on anyone's Twitter data. So you couldn't have Elon Musk in
Oh, so
there,
it's not just your specific Twitter
not
data.
just
It can
yours. No.
be, it's global. Right, okay.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
So you can pick anybody and just add them as a person in this thing. And these little characters, they get their own wallet, they get their own tokens or whatever. They may decide to buy stuff. They may decide to sell NFTs. They can
Yeah.
create their own NFTs. They can enter competitions. They can do loads of things. And I think we're at a stage where we can't quite envision what the next step will be. But people are just
Mm.
building stuff, and then once it's built, then people kind of find a use case for it, which is even more exciting. I think
Yeah.
even more exciting. So those are the two. Those are the two projects that really stood out for me in this particular hackathon. And yeah, just
Have they
onto
got
the
Twitter pages?
yeah, they will have Dow Council. I think will have a Twitter following. We go here.
Because
Let's
that
see.
second one, I'll probably stick on, like you say, some sort of watch list
Yeah,
to
small
try and
would be a
keep
good
up with
one.
it.
I think they've got. I think they would have. I think they would have socials, but I can't find them at the moment. Unless I guess I search. I guess I can search for it. Let me search for it on here. I'll do a quick search. No, I can't see one. Not immediately, but oh, here we go. Nicholas Lab. These were the people that made it. Okay, so they made a Twitter for it, but they've got 3 followers.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But this would be a good place to follow. So you'd follow this. They haven't tweeted since the 15th. But if they continue to tweet, they might tweet something like, oh, we've got funding from Binance Labs or something like that. And then you're like, all right, this is going to happen.
I mean business.
Yes, yes, yes. But I like to watch hackathons because they give you an idea of what the builders are building.
Yeah.
So there was these two, and there was another one actually, which I will show you because I think this one will be more interesting to you because the use case is a lot more obvious, and that was Yield Seeker.
So is that kind of like a DeFi
Yeah, exactly.
thing?
So you could watch the video. I'm not. I'm not going to watch the video now, but if you watch the video, it kind of shows you what. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what I will do. It kind of shows you what it does, the solution, and then in the demonstration, he shows how he can look at what's getting what yield, and it will tell you, oh, this is getting this yield. Then it will give you a risk profile as well, saying you're getting 8%, but it's more risky than going over there and getting 7%. And then all
Right, so it
through
kind
the
of tells you
agent.
which ones are better off.
Exactly. But not only that, but you can then say to the agent, right, move it from that one to the one that's slightly less risky for me, and it will do it for you.
Oh,
So,
very nice.
yeah. So this one, the use case for this one is a lot more obvious. This one, I think, probably becomes a project soon. I can't see this guy getting
Does it
away
say, do you know
without.
what it's built on?
Yes, he does say what the
Would it be on
rails are. I
ETH?
think
Because it's ETH Global or
yes, it's on base. It's on base, and
base
it's
project?
yeah, and it uses. I believe it used Autonome. I think he was hosting using Autonome, but it does show. Here we go. How it's made. Hosting on AWS Bedrock, and they use the graph to get the
Okay.
yields, so it can find out what the yields are. It uses the graph. Graph is a Oracle, one of the most well-known oracles.
Yeah.
Currently queries using Morpho and SparkFi on base.
So you need to maybe look out for Coinbase Ventures funding for that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is, because it's something like this, and this is what is something that's very interesting, and I think understated at the moment, is that because we've got AI now, developing things, the cost of developing is coming right down. It's coming down
Yeah.
fast. So one developer can now do what 5 developers could have done previously, which
Yeah.
means that little projects like this can be funded by random guys now. They're not going to have. He's not going to have to go to Coinbase Ventures. He's not going to have to give away 25% of his company for 100 grand because he won't need as much money
No.
in this day and age. So I think it will be very interesting to see how many of these projects get funded now, knowing that less money takes you a lot further.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably the one that would be of most interest to you and I guess the watchers,
Yeah.
our viewers, the audience. So that was probably my second favorite one out of all
Yeah.
three.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Makes it easier for a lot of people that are especially new to this space as well, rather than trying to have to go around to different things themselves.
yeah, exactly. And you don't have to go looking, and it will give you a risk profile, and it kind of will explain to you that holding certain tokens is possibly a little bit more risky than holding
Yeah, and it
others.
gives you like how long you should hold it for there.
No, it doesn't say how long you should hold it for, but that's probably because that would be too open ended for an AI
Yeah, to do.
to do. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be quite cool if it maybe give you like updates if anything happened in crypto land with any of those apps and stuff. To say
Yeah.
they had a breach or something, it could send you a message going, right, well, this has just been breached. I recommend maybe you getting moving your capital from there to here
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be quite cool.
I think what will happen in the future is we'll have like a multi-agent
Yeah,
universe. So remember, I was always going on about FXN, and FXN is a marketplace for agents. So
mm.
if you had an agent like Yield Seeker and you wanted to get news on your crypto, it would be difficult for you to have your agent do that as well. Because
Mm.
generally, agents are good at doing what they do. So you probably have to give a small retainer to another agent and say, keep an eye on this project, that project, and let me know. And then
Yeah,
that agent would have access to the data that it needs and
for it.
the right ways to trigger searches or to be triggered by certain news articles and then report back to Yield Seeker. So I
Yeah,
think that's how that would play out. But I do think it happens. I do think it happens in the
yeah.
future that we start to add features like that. But I think every feature
Interesting.
is another agent.
Very interesting.
Yes, so that was that one, and I think the next. Oh, I forget what the next one is, but there's generally my diary has a hackathon every little while. Sui AI hackathon, I think, is the next one that I need to look into.
Right.
I think that one just finished last week, so we'll see who's won what on that one.
Yeah. Right. I suppose let's get into predictions from last week.
Let's do it.
Right.
Did we
So,
do predictions last week, or did we do bingo?
no, we did do predictions. I have. This might be correct. Bitcoin, Soul, PopCap, Miggles, and Cake.
Okay.
So, kicking off, Bitcoin. You said 100k, and I said 103. We hit a high of 98.852. So both incorrect this week on that front. Um, Solana, both incorrect again. I
Did we
said
were we bullish?
240. You said
Yeah.
220. We hit a high of 209. So a tad off. Although we are into some support. If you can see that on my screen at the minute with these wicks. Yeah. PopCat. I mean, I must have a better chart on this.
Yeah, Popcat's been around for a while.
Let me see. Probably one of these. Let's have a look. That's a bit better. PopCat I said 0.40 and you said 0.20. We reached a high of 0.379 and a low of 0.238. So we were both marginally off, having
Yeah,
both hit. Quite unlucky, if I do say so there.
it did recover somewhat, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
struggling.
I mean, if you can see on my screen, we come into these areas of resistance over
Yeah,
here and just got hammered down again.
yeah.
So technicals doing what they do best. Um, Miggles, last week, this is a bit of a mishmash of a chart, isn't it?
This was the one, yeah, with all the lines.
Yeah, so I said 0.085 and you said 0.10. We
Zero
went
point 0.1. Oh, okay, yeah. I was super
0.10,
bullish.
yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a high of 0.8, 0.084. So I was 0.05 off, and
Mhm.
you were a tad off. So marginally.
I'll give you that one.
Well, I mean, if you're counting today, we did hit that target. We did 0.085, 0.087. So last week I was a tad off, but today it did tag it. Cake. Now, some big moves. You nailed it. Went bullish. It went even higher than what you said. You said 210. I said 2. We actually went to a high of 340 and a low of 162. So both correct there. So
There
this
was
week,
there was some big news on BNB this
I
week.
think it was memes again, wasn't it?
Yeah, they released some meme called Test, I think.
And then CZ did one about a dog called Broccoli, didn't he?
Yes. Supposed to be
As
CZ's
well.
dog. Yeah.
So, I mean, just looking at the broader cake chart here, you can kind of see we've formed what could be classed as some sort of bottoming pattern. Obviously, we need to break. Let's go to the monthly actually. Yeah, I'd be inclined to say that we need to break around the 460 to $5 mark to say that the bottom's in. But it's good that it's maintaining these lows levels effectively. You've got some local support in here where my cursor is now at around 199 or $2. Goes back below there, definitely opens up, coming back down to the bottom around $1.10, something like that. So 2 out of 5 for this week for me. I think you had 2 out of 5 as well.
Yeah. Not a great week. We was expecting things to be a bit more bullish.
Yes, we were. Um, what do we want to do this week?
I'm gonna go bullish again. We'll do Bitcoin,
Bitcoin. We do.
Solana,
Yeah, I can do Solana.
Bitcoin, Solana. Let's do.
Should we do one of the AI coins?
Oh, do you want to do AI 16Z or do you want to do one that we haven't
Well,
done?
you do AI 16Z and I'll do Tau if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So get rid of that and then AI 16Z.
So Bitcoin, Solana, AI 16Z, Tau. We need one more. One meme.
Or do you want to stick to DeFi?
Oh, yeah, let's do a DeFi actually. Why not?
Should we do Uni?
Yes. Because they just launched their network, didn't they?
Yeah. Right. Here we go.
Which
Bitcoin.
reminds me, I need to
What
stay.
are we saying? We are still range bound, so anywhere in the range is probably a good shout.
Yeah, basically. Basically, I'm going. What did I say last time? I say
You said
104.
100k.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say 100K again.
Okay.
I reckon we'll do it this time.
We're just unsupporting me. But then we got bearish bias at the moment because this meme coin stuff in Argentina. We're on support. It's literally just throw a dart, isn't it? I'm
Do
going to
we
go
break
to the
up or do
bearish
we break
side.
down?
You've gone
Yeah.
bullish side. I'm going to go bearish. I'm going to say 93.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what happens. Solana.
Solana recovers big time this week.
I seem to be lagging massively here.
Why?
Don't
You
know,
said?
my cursor's not working on the screen.
Okay.
But we're at
Um,
175 and we're at support. So where do you think we go?
220.
220.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big bounce.
Yeah. Solana's going to
Okay,
do.
I'm not going to go that bullish, but I'm going to say we could definitely come up to 190 again. So
Yeah.
I'm saying 190, you're saying 220. Right, my laptop has, don't know what it's done. Seems to be frozen.
All right. Do you want me to share?
I'm not sure you can because I'm sharing.
Someone else is currently sharing.
Yes. And I can't get off of the sharing because it's frozen.
Can you go to a different tab?
Um, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Am I back? No. Oh, here we go. We're back.
There we go.
Right. Tau. Here we go. We're currently in what I like to call a broadening wedge. On the lower side, there's your upper boundary. Currently sat at 348. Where do you think we go in the next week?
Have we had some sort of liquidity event today? Because since 3 o'clock today, everything has shed about 10%.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I mean, the TradFi market's been closed because it's a holiday. I
Very
haven't got anything.
strange.
I haven't got anything on Twitter.
Everything has done a little downward spiral. Okay. All right. Tau.
Where do you reckon?
I'm going to say. I do think Tau is overpriced. You know.
Overpriced.
Yeah.
I think it's massively underpriced. You got some sort of little falling wedge going on here.
Um.
Next week, I mean that's literally there, isn't it? So
Alts keep bleeding. No, I
if
don't.
you're
I think.
bullish Sol,
Yeah, I know. I don't think alts keep bleeding. I think we're coming to the end of that narrative
then we're
now.
due a bounce.
We're due a bounce. I'm gonna go with get back to 4. Let me get 370.
370. I was going to say 4, so I think that works out all right. So
Yeah,
370 and 400.
I was gonna say 4 as well, but I thought 4 is well over 10%, and that's a big old project.
Right. Oh, look at that. AI16Z hit the falling wedge target, or the channel target of the breakdown.
Yeah, and then jump back up, done 100% after that.
Nice little bounce there. See, there when we were talking about earlier, we were talking about picking the winners that have shown some strength. Maybe here's one to look at. Non-financial advice.
Right, sorry.
Where
What
do
did you
you
say
think we
now?
go?
I said 270, didn't I? No, I
Yeah.
said
So
370,
370.
and you said 400.
Yeah.
Okay, AI 16Z.
Where do you think we go?
I've got to, I've got to remain consistent, haven't I? I think we're probably going to tag that 32 again.
Down here,
Yeah.
26.
Oh, that's
Well, I
too
mean,
low.
one thing you have got going for us at the minute is we're at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, and when you're at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, after a period of time of being outside of them, it's normally a bullish setup.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go bullish. Let me go bullish. I'm going to go with 55.
55.
Yeah, 50 seems to be some sort of secret resistance. So I'm going to go that we just break out
55.
of it.
Right. That is now resistance. So I am going to go. I'm going to say we could see a bounce as well, but I'm going to be a bit more conservative. I'm going to say 43.
Okay. Okay.
And finally, uni. So to give people
Uniswap.
a bigger outlook, that is the uni chart as of current.
Yeah, up we go.
You reckon?
Yeah, up we go. Up we go, uni. I'm going to say 13.
$13. Oh, big
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah, big old jump.
Big jump. I'm going to say 10.50.
Yeah, well, you definitely get that. That's easy.
Actually, no, that's too easy. Why have I said that? Can't be
That's
having
too
that.
easy, isn't it?
Yeah, because I was just looking at this resistance line here, and I'm like, yeah, that could just bounce up.
It will at least do that,
I'll do
unless
12.
it just goes straight down.
I'll do 12.
Hang on then.
A tad below you.
Yeah.
So recap. Mine are Bitcoin 93, Sol 190, Tau 400, AI16Z 0.43, and Uni at 12. And then yours are 100K Bitcoin, 220 Sol, 370 Tau, 0.55 AI16Z, and $13 Uni.
Interestingly, this week we have gone bullish on every single one. So we think
Yeah,
every single one will be higher next week than it is now.
indeed. I think some of these prices at the minute, to be fair, I might do a little bit of shopping tonight.
Yeah.
Just
It's,
a tad.
I've got, what I'm doing now is I'm doing a long and a short each week. So I was
Your
short
leverage
AI,
or.
yeah, with not much though, 5x.
Oh, okay.
So it needs to drop by 20% for me to be wiped out. And I'm doing small bets like
Yeah.
$50 or whatever. So I've got BNB long. I bought at 670. That's not doing well. And I bought a Jupiter long at 83, which is also not doing well yet. But I do think we're at the bottom range. And then I've done a short of
When did you
AI16Z.
get into Jupiter, did you say?
Jupiter I got in this morning.
Jupiter's at the support.
Yeah,
You're at local supports. If you're going to see a bounce, you probably see one soon.
you see it from here, yeah. AI16Z I shorted from 49 and then I sold that. I sold that short. I closed it. And I was up quite a lot on that one. So yeah, it's just because I've gotten to know you in these hitting these support lines. What I'm doing now is that when it hits the support line in one direction, I'm betting on it going in the other direction with leverage.
That's what people should be doing, but sometimes people don't.
Because it's counterintuitive, isn't it? When something's going
It
up,
is.
you just assume it's going to keep going up. When it's going down, you assume it's going to
Yeah,
keep
as
going
soon as,
down.
soon as people that don't look at resistance or whatever, they'll just go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go long," but then you're at a monthly resistance zone or something, and you just get hammered down. So you're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to see how well it works out for me. Just
Yeah,
see what happens, and then compound my wins because I've done all right. Well, the one that I closed up. That was AI
yeah, good.
16.
I haven't done any. To be fair, I might load a bit into my leverage account, a little play around again. I haven't done
Well,
any in a while.
you can use Hyperliquid. I like Hyperliquid because you can do small amounts or pancake swap. You could do small amounts. So
I've never used one of the dexes for it. I've only ever used it on BitGet.
yeah, Dexes. I think Dexes are better because obviously
I'll
they're
have to try
Dexes.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you're only using small amounts, then it's fine. Don't have to worry about it.
Which ones are the best for it? Hyperliquid and Cake, did you say?
I use Hyperliquid Drift on Solana
Okay.
and Pancake Swap for
I'll have to have a
BNB.
look.
But Hyperliquid's probably the best one,
Because they've
I
got a
think.
token as well. I think that I'm quite. Where is it? HY hype.
Yeah, they've done really well considering.
I like their token. I
But
like the token
I
structure.
think they done the best airdrop of the cycle, I would say.
It's really good. Like this, I'll quickly throw it up. That across there. Share the screen quick. This will be the bit of alpha for today. So this is the hype chart. You can see we had our expansion up, we've had our sell-off down, and since then just kind of accumulated sideways. What do we think happens next? I think a break to the upside. And targets for this would be
35.
all the way up to 110. So I'd start there and then go up. So they would be my take profit levels.
Okay.
If you're in, obviously that could be next cycle. It hasn't got to be this cycle because it's a new token. But then we know what crypto is and what it does and how it can move. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do hit
New tokens tend to do better than old tokens, and
some of these. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. On the
this
daily, trend base for the extension is saying targets from 37 all the way up to 120-ish. And we've already
these
been.
ones do well as well when their exchange tokens seem to do really well. Often up and down in the cycles. Cycles going up, all the cycles going down. The exchange tokens seem to do well because I guess they're kind of based on the amount of transactions volumes.
Yeah,
So that may be the same for Hyperliquid. This is probably the biggest away from Uniswap, but this is a bit different. The biggest,
yeah,
I guess, decentralized exchange token we've ever seen. So
yeah.
really
I mean, if you're
interesting to
looking to
see.
trade this, like the easiest way to trade this is just to wait for a break of the $27 range, wait for it to retest. See
Yeah,
if we get a break up, come back in. That's where you long.
yeah,
Until then, we're kind of range bound. So if you're not sure on where to enter, you kind of just leave it alone at the minute until we get a directional break.
I guess, and you hope that they don't that it's not a fake out. In
Yeah.
which case,
I mean,
yeah,
but then
like
again, if you are to long a retest, you can have a stop saying 10 or
okay,
20% below the prior thing, and that just knocks
yeah,
you out. Because
yeah,
if we did, let's say we come up here, then we've gone up a little bit, then retested, I'd probably look to put my stop at the prior resistance level or mid area, so like here, you
yeah,
can see going across,
yeah,
like in line with that. So I'd probably put a stop down here, and then you'd have a leeway of, call it, I don't know, 7%.
yeah,
So we can still come in a tad,
yeah,
like 5-6%, and you'd be all right. Or you just have a mental stop loss. Whereas,
yeah.
because if we're say crypto native, a bit like us, where you're looking at this stuff every day, you don't really need that. But the only reason why you would have one is if a liquidation event. Because I mean, the
Yeah,
one time I didn't set a stop loss, I got liquidated because of a liquidation event.
yeah. I would say you set a stop loss because you
Yeah.
never know. You might not be at your machine. You might
Even
not
if you
have.
just set a wide one, you could set one that's 10-15% lower, just giving you that extra bit of bandwidth to play with. Um, so, yeah, I might have to load some up with some of the
Yeah,
shopping money.
yeah. You might as well. You might as well have a go. You've had a good cycle so far, so why not?
Play around a little bit.
I
Right,
would say.
that wraps up episode 15. Let me just check if there's any questions before we go. No, no questions. Perfect. Right. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Be sure to watch the full replay if you've only joined halfway through on our YouTube channels and your Twitter, I
Yeah,
believe. You posted
yeah.
on there as well. Um, until then, stay safe. Don't get involved in any more rug pulls, and we'll see you soon.
Avoid the rugs.
Yeah, adios.
Laters.